Psychology often reminds us that people who genuinely prefer the comfort of home over the chaos of going out are misunderstood. They're too quickly labeled as antisocial, depressed, or even lazy. But if stepping inside your front door feels less like hiding and more like finally exhaling, there's a deeper psychological truth at play. You aren't running from life, you're practicing what environmental psychology calls restorative niche construction. While society insists you should be buzzing in crowds, your brain may actually have a finely tuned regulatory system that knows exactly what it needs to thrive. You don't dislike people, you simply value your energy too much to waste it. And if your home feels like your sanctuary, chances are you carry 5 rare personality traits. 1. You have little patience for performative socializing. When you do step out, you've probably noticed a frustrating pattern. Most conversations aren't about connection, they're about waiting for a turn to speak. Large gatherings drain you, not because you're shy, but because they're filled with surface-level chatter. You'd rather embrace silence than join in conversations where masks are worn, impressions are staged, and interest is faked. At home, you don't have to perform. No forced smiles, no dressing up, no explanations. You value authenticity so deeply that solitude feels better than being surrounded by pretense. 2. You possess heightened sensory intelligence. For many, a crowded street or noisy restaurant is just another Friday night. For you, it's an overload on the nervous system. Research shows that homebodies often score higher on sensory processing sensitivity. You notice the noise, the energy, the demands of the environment more intensely than others. Staying home isn't about fear, it's about control. You curate the lighting, the temperature, the sound. Your brain works like a high-performance computer. It runs best when it isn't overheating from the input of 1,000 strangers. 3. You see your home as a laboratory of the self. Outsiders assume you're doing nothing at home, but in reality, you're often busier than anyone realizes. You're a crafter, a gardener, a writer, a builder. Research into flow states shows that creativity flourishes in the absence of interruption. You love being home because that's where your tools are, where your garden grows, where your art takes shape, where your mind dives into complex ideas without someone constantly asking, "So, what do you do for work?" You're not isolating, you're incubating. 4. You've developed a high peace threshold. Maybe after a chaotic youth or a toxic workplace, you've realized drama is the most expensive thing in the world and you refuse to pay for it anymore. With age comes simplification. You curate your environment, your relationships, your time. You've likely had friends who only unloaded their trauma, were circles that thrived on gossip. Staying home is your physical boundary against chaos. You've discovered that a quiet evening with a pet, a book, or a partner who truly understands you brings more dopamine than any night out. You aren't lonely, you're peaceful. And while chaos sees peace as boredom, you see it as freedom. 5. You embody self-sufficiency. Loving your home isn't weakness, it's strength. According to the Savannah theory of happiness, highly intelligent people often experience lower satisfaction when they socialize too frequently. Why? Because their focus is on long-term goals and inner growth. Your ability to find joy within your own 4 walls means you've built a life you don't need to escape from. You haven't withdrawn from the world, you've simply built a better one inside.